Okay, guys, today we are going over solving equations involving the distributive property. Okay, so if we look at example one, first of all, let's think about what it means to distribute something, right? Some common things we think of when we're distributing something, we could say it's like a mailman distributing mail, or a teacher, let's say, distributing assignments. When we distribute something, we're handing something out or giving everyone something. Okay, so when we use the distributive property, what we're going to do here is we're going to distribute this outside number, that 2 there, to everything inside these parentheses. So 2 times x is 2x. We're using multiplication. And then 2 times -3 is -6, okay? So we have to distribute this 2 to everything inside of the parentheses, okay? So 2x minus 6 equals 8. And then this just turns into a two-step equation here. So we can add 6 to both sides. We would be left with 2x equals 14 because 8 plus 6 is 14. -6 plus 6 just gives me 0, so they cancel each other out. So I have 2x equals 14. Okay. The last step here to solve for x would be to divide by 2. Okay, when we divide both sides by 2, we get x is equal to 7. Okay, so the main thing that we're trying to focus on today is this distribution part. We're trying to distribute this outside number to everything inside the parentheses using multiplication. Okay, then from there, we just use our isolation processes of reverse order of operations and inverse operations, okay, to solve for x. When we verify our solution, to verify means to check, right? So we're going to check the solution. All we're going to do is we're going to take our solution that we found, x equals 7, and anywhere we see an x in this original equation, we're going to replace it with what we found to be our solution, which is 7. Okay, so here I have 2 parentheses 7 minus 3 equals 8. Of course, if I simplify inside the parentheses, I get a 4. I'm left with 2 times 4 equals 8. Remember, if something's written right next to parentheses like that, it means multiplication. And 2 times 4 is, in fact, 8. So if we get a true statement like this, 8 equals 8, then we know that our solution that we found originally is correct. Okay, so x is equal to 7. We checked it by verifying our solution, and we found it to be true, so we're good. Okay, checking number 2. Okay, same thing. We're just going to distribute this -3 to everything inside the parentheses. -3 times 2x is -6x. -3 times a +4 is a -12. Okay, so I'd have -72 is equal to -6x minus 12. Okay, so here again, it just turns into a two-step equation to solve for x. I add 12 to both sides. -72 plus 12 is -60. I have -60 is equal to -6x. Okay, I divide both sides by -6. -60 divided by -6 is +10. Okay, so at this step here, we're dividing by -6. -60 divided by -6 is a +10. Okay, we're not done with this example yet, though. We still have to verify. So now when we verify, we plug in our solution, our 10, anywhere we see an x up here, which is just this one spot. Okay, so we replace that x with a 10. So I have -72 equals -3 times 2 times 10 plus 4. Okay, so if we follow our order of operations, we're going to take 2 times 10 first, which is 20. Okay, after that first step, we have -72 is equal to -3 times 20 plus 4. Now I can add 20 and 4 next to give me 24. Okay, -72 is equal to -3 times 24. Okay, -3 times 24. Put that in your calculator quick and let's see what you get. -3 times 24. Okay, hopefully if we did that right, we should have gotten -72 is equal to -72. And that, of course, is a true statement, so we know that our solution is correct. Okay, that is example 2. Let's look at example 3. Okay, example 3, we're still using this distributive property, guys. So even though we see this 1/2 and we might get a little psyched out because it's a fraction, okay, we're still going to do the same thing. We're going to distribute this 1/2 to everything inside the parentheses. 1/2 times -6x is -3x, right? -3 is 1/2 of -6. 1/2 of 18 is 9 equals 15. Okay, so I have -3x plus 9 equals 15. And now we just solve for the variable. We do that first by subtracting 9 from both sides. 15 minus 9 is 6. -3x is equal to 6. Okay, my last step here is to divide both sides by -3. Remember, we're trying to isolate this variable, trying to get it on its own. Okay, 6 divided by -3 is -2. The final answer would be x is equal to -2. Okay, we're not done yet, though. We still have to verify. Okay, so when we verify, we're going to plug in -2. We're going to substitute it anywhere we see an x up here, which is that one spot. Everything else stays the same. 1/2, parentheses, -6. Okay, instead of an x, it's a -2. Plus 18, parentheses, equals 15. Okay, so now when we simplify this, we get 1/2 times 12 plus 18 equals 15. -6 times -2 gives me a positive 12. Negative times a negative is a positive. And 12 plus 18 gives me 30. So I have 1/2 times 30 equals 15. And of course, we know hopefully 1/2 of 30 is 15. So 15 equals 15, and we know our solution was correct. Okay. We get our solution and we plug it in and verify by substituting, okay, to check and see if it's correct. Okay, let's check number 4. For number 4, I have the same thing, right? It's just this time I'm distributing -2/3. Okay, when I distribute -2/3 to 3, I get -2x. -2/3 times 3, okay? If you guys put this into your calculator, remember you always have to put the fraction in parentheses. It always needs to be in parentheses, okay? If not, we should be able to multiply this by hand, okay? -2/3 times 3. 3 as a whole number, right? If we wanted to write 3 the whole number as a fraction, we would put it over 1. -2/3 times 3/1 would give me -6/3, which simplifies, of course, to -2. Okay, so there's a couple ways we can do that. -2/3 times -9 would give me a positive 6. So I have -10 is equal to -2x plus 6. To solve for the variable here, I subtract 6 from both sides first. Okay, -10 minus 6 is -16. I have -16 is equal to -2x. My last step is to divide by -2. That's what I'm going to do. I divide both sides by -2. -16 divided by -2 is, of course, 8. So x equals 8, or 8 equals x, right? Doesn't matter what order we have it because equal sign means that it's true, okay? Goes both ways, okay? Now we're going to verify. Again, I'm going to plug my 8 in for x anywhere I see it. I have -10 is equal to -2/3 times 3 times 8 minus 9, okay? 8 times 3 is going to give me 24, okay? So I'm getting 24 from doing this here. -10 equals -2/3 times 24 minus 9. 24 minus 9 is, hopefully we all said 15. So I have -10 is equal to -2/3 times 15. If I take -2/3 times 15, I get -10. Of course, -10 is equal to -10, so we know our solution is right. Okay, so we found our solution, solve for x. Distribute first, solve for x. Resubstitute that back into the original to see if we're right. Okay, and that is it for this section of notes, guys.